Hello, Cougar Nation, and welcome here to the Thunderdome here on Saturday, April 6th. Got the Cougars taking on the Marian University Sabers in the second matchup of a conference doubleheader today. Earlier today in the 7-inning game, the Cougars fell to Marian University 2-1 after a stellar complete game outing from Riley Richards for the Sabers. For this game, now we're headed on to the full 9-inning game in the doubleheader. And leading off for the Marian University Sabers, it's going to be Tyler Blum. Blum had a big game last game, 2 hits, decent outing on offense from him. Neither team really exploding offensively in that first matchup, but it's going to be Blum leading off for the Sabers, followed up by number 16, Jacob Kleeman, the left fielder, and number 36, Logan Radaman, the third baseman. On the mound for the Cougars today for this game is going to be the freshman Dylan Scott. Dylan Scott coming into this game sits at a 7.36 ERA with a 1-4 record. He's pitched 18 innings this season and has allowed 15 runs. And the first pitch on its way. That's going to be in there for a strike. Right. 0-2 count early here on Tyler Blum. That pitch going to be outside for a ball. Scott going to wind up and deliver. That's going to be into center field. Hickman going for it, diving, makes the grab. Eli Hickman kicks off this game with a bang defensively. And as we do get ready for this game, I'm Jonathan Shear with the Cougar Sports Network. Joining me today on color is Justin Bjorseth. Justin, thanks for coming on today.
Excellent pronunciation. I can't believe he hit that in one try, and I didn't even have to give him the I'm not even in the media guide with the pronunciation. So, fantastic. It's good to be back. Jonathan, I appreciate you letting me jump on here, join you for Game 2. Done my fair share of these in the day, but been quite a while, and it's good to be back in the Thunderdome for some afternoon baseball, some action.
And Dylan Scott is feeling it in the Thunderdome right now, getting off to an early 0-2 count here on Jacob Kleeman. Kleeman drives that one to left field. Cahigas able to track it down and make the play for out number 2. So Blum and Kleeman both able to make some contact to kick this one off, but the Cougars outfield able to run it down, and it's contact, but Scott's not letting them get very good contact on it so far.
Yeah, that first ball was hit kind of hard. That one just kind of got up in the air, and a lot of time for Cahigas to get over there.
First pitch to Radaman is a ball. 1-0 count on the third baseman, and I'll watch that one go for a strike.
I'm curious if we see as big of a strike zone as we saw in Game 1. Obviously, new umpire behind the dish, but definitely a pitcher zone in Game 1. You talked about it on the call. Working, both pitchers were able to work the corners, at least both of the starters. Obviously, the Marian starter went the distance, working those corners all day long, getting the calls, and made for a quick game. That's for sure, but you mentioned it a couple times. Unhappy batters walking back to the dugout after called third strikes. We definitely had our fair share of them.
And coupled with maybe that change in how the pitching is going to go this game, in that last game with Riley Richard for Marian and Wyatt McLaughlin for Concordia, you pretty much had 2 of the best pitchers for both teams out there. Now in this game, you have Dylan Scott on the mound starting off for Concordia, and on the mound on the other end for the Sabers is Hunter Netzler. Neither of them bad pitchers, but not really nearly at the level that Riley Richards and Wyatt McLaughlin are at.
I was super impressed with both the starters in last game, and the ability for CUC too to keep it a 1-run game using the bullpen down the stretch. Coach Colin Cotter making a few changes, including one that led to getting out of a bases-loaded jam. So he used his bullpen well in Game 1, and we'll see what he expects out of his starter here in Game 2.
Full count on Logan Radaman's going to send him to first base right there on a walk. High and in right there. And that's going to give the Sabres a man on first here with 2 outs in the first inning.
Designated hitter number 28, Ryan Nelson.
And you mentioned that bullpen, a big part of this Cougars team. That's somewhere they've really felt they've improved. Called themselves the night shift this year.
I like that. That's great. The night shift. Yeah, they were 7-inning game in Game 1, and they were used they were relied on, so I imagine the plan will be the same here in a 9-inning game, depending on what the Cougs can get out of Scott.
That's going to be fouled down the third baseline for Nelson. 0-2 count on Ryan Nelson here, batting as the designated hitter for the Sabres in this game. And a lot of lineup change for the Sabres. We'll go over that once they get on defense, but a lot of new players and a lot of new positions in this game for Marian University.
Yeah, switching it up after the win in Game 1. They're looking to leave here with a road sweep.
Nelson will foul that one back and stay alive. You have some lineup changes on the Cougars end, too. Dylan Scott on the mound. Obviously, you'll change up your pitcher. Dom Owens now making up the other half of that battery. Brandon Mahler actually sitting on the bench for this game, taking a break after that first game.
Yeah, and you have Caleb Anderson in the lineup at DH. We saw him pinch hit at the end of last game. Get a chance to have a few more at-bats here in game number 2.
0-2 count here on Nelson, and Nelson's going to send that one into center field. Hickman tracking it down in the sun. He makes the play to end the inning. And that'll do it. The Sabres strand a man on first. Dylan Scott gets out of the inning without any damage done. We'll head to the bottom of the first for the Cougars to start batting. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back in just a moment. And welcome back to the Thunderdome here in the bottom of the first. It's now the Cougars coming up to the plate with Julio Cajigas to lead it off. And that top two in the order is saying the same. On deck for the Cougars, batting second today, number 23, Tyler Dorsch, the right fielder. Batting third today and in the hole for the Cougars, number 52, Tyler Crater. And the first pitch from Hunter Netzler on the mound is spiked into the dirt.
Yeah, not the ideal first pitch of the afternoon. Maybe just has to settle in a bit here.
Netzler coming in today, 6.17 ERA on the season, sits at a 1-3 record. And Cajigas sends that one into right field. Gus Walker, the new right fielder for the Sabres in this game, able to track it down and make the play. And that's going to be out number 1.
Yeah, I believe we saw Walker out there in the final inning of game number 1 as a defensive replacement for a pinch runner. Getting the chance to get a full game of action out there now.
Now I have Tyler Dorsch up at the plate for the Cougars. Dorsch, certainly almost pretty much the core of this Cougars offense on the season to this point, hitting .359, slugging to .672, getting on base at a .538 percentage. He leads the team in home runs with 5. Tyler Dorsch on the season has been perhaps the most reliable and effective hitter for this Cougars team. Dorsch finds himself in an 0-2 count here. Netzler delivers, and Dorsch pops that one into center field. Blum charging on it, and it'll be the right fielder Walker coming all the way in from right to make the play.
Good on Walker there to make the call and let his teammates know he had it for a second there. It looked like that one might find a way to fall.
Yeah, and that one you mentioned might find a way to fall. It's a really awkward spot. Today, after coming off of a week of long, just cloudy, rainy weather, today is a nice breath of fresh air.
All of a sudden, all we have is the sun.
Yeah, that sun, we've seen it. That sun has affected some of those plays. Grounder from Crater over to third. That's going to be a 5-3 ground out right there. Radaman making the throw. And Hutzler gets through the first inning. 1-2-3. After one inning of work for both teams, it remains scoreless here in River Forest. We'll be back for the top of the second. Welcome back here to the Thunderdome in the top of the second. Neither team scored in the first. It's 0-0 here as Robbie Knorr steps up to the plate for the Sabers to kick off the top of the second, sitting in an 0-1 count after fouling off the first pitch.
Yep, right after the first pitch, I would venture to guess Marian is looking to grab an early lead as much as possible in this game, and I don't know what their bullpen depth looks like, but they didn't have to use it at all in game 1, so you'd think the plan is jump on them early, turn it over to the bullpen, and hopefully hold this down, and like I said, have the chance to leave here with a doubleheader sweep over, and you mentioned at the top of the first broadcast how long it had been since they had beaten CUC prior to today.
Exactly 9 years. It was April 6, 2015 was the last time that Marian took a win over the Cougars.
That's pretty crazy. 9 years to the day. I wonder if they knew that coming into today.
I mean, you mentioned it. There were a lot of, because you said you watched some of these games, there were some close games.
There were. I remember a walk-off in, I believe, 2022, perhaps 2021, to end a doubleheader sweep for the Cougs here at the Thunderdome. Brody Mariotti delivered that one. And they definitely remember watching some close ones over the years. And the game 1 was close, too. That could have gone either way. 2-1 game.
1-2 count here for Albert Kiska, the new catcher for the Sabers. Finds himself in a 2-2 count after that ball right there. And that's going to be a grounder over to short. Boswell charging, Fields over to first. Kasich makes the grab. That's going to be out number 2 on the inning. Dylan Scott working through this inning very well.
Boswell is very smooth at shortstop just from watching today in the first couple of games so far. Nice charge on that play there. Had to be quick. Quick transition between glove and hand and fire it to first. Basically still on the move.
Yeah, and Yashawn Boswell, he's really been one of those sort of breakout players for the Cougars this year. Offensively, he's not one of their best players. He's certainly not bad offensively, but the Cougars, that standard on offense, there are some absolutely amazing players on offense. Like you mentioned, though, it's that defensive end where he is just a standout player over at short. He has an incredibly wide range to make plays over there.
You want to be good defensively up the middle. The Cougs definitely fit that bill. Eli Hickman obviously had that great play in center field earlier in the first batter of the game, the diving catch. So we've seen them flash some leather.
1-2 count here on Kiska. He's going to send that one towards center field. That's going to drop over the head of Jake Mahler for a base hit. And
hit it where they aren't.
And Steven Russell gets on base with 2 outs here for the Sabers.
Batting 8, the second baseman, number 2, Lucas Lemons.
Lucas Lemons now at the plate for the Sabres. He'll foul that first pitch back for strike 1. And Steven Russell, who has that first single on that last play right there. Interesting hit, just dropped right over the head of Jake Mahler.
Yeah, he just put it in a premier spot. It wasn't, you know, they've probably hit 4 balls already harder than that. But that's baseball.
Yeah, it's not, a lot of times, not about how hard you hit it. Just got to get it to fall in the right spot.
Where is it? And it was an awkward position for Mahler at second. Kind of turned around, and you know, it's a very tough play to make, and the shallow outfield there, and especially with the outfield playing a little deeper.
Scott thrown over to first, keeping Russell in check. At the plate, Lucas Lemons on the season, hitting 176, hitting in the 8-hole in this game right there. He takes that pitch for a ball, has himself in a 2-1 count here. Scott delivers a pitch. Lemon's going to flare that one into right field. Dorsch charging, able to make the play, and that'll win the inning. Good defense from the Cougars in the top of the second to keep it scoreless. We'll head to the bottom of the second. It's Sabres 0, Cougars 0 as the Cougars come up to the plate. Welcome back here to River Forest for Game 2 of today's Marian University, Concordia University, Chicago doubleheader. We're all tied up here in the bottom of the second. Cougars coming up to the plate with Michael Kasich leading off the inning, cleanup man for the Cougars. Kasich takes that first pitch for a strike. Kasich had the lone RBI of the first game for the Cougars. A ground ball single into right that drove in Brandon Mahler. And he'll take that second pitch for a strike, keeping the bat on his shoulder to kick off this at-bat, and he suddenly finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Netzler delivers. Kasich fouls that one back. Netzler incredibly efficient in his first inning of work against the Cougars. Looking to keep that up here against Michael Kasich. Kasich fouling that one off, staying alive. As Netzler delivers, Kasich! Hard grounder into left field, right up the gap, and that's going to be a base hit, and the Cougars are going to have a man on base to kick off the second inning.
Good to see the Cougars get a runner on, like you said, lead off the inning. Maybe try and push it across. A run here with the bottom part of the order, or I guess middle of the order.
And yeah, in that middle part of the order, we got Jake Mahler coming up to the plate here. One half of the Mahler twins, and Netzler checking over to first and delivering the first pitch to Mahler, and Mahler's going to flare that one into right field for a base hit. The Cougars back-to-back pitches, back-to-back hits. Now we got men on first and second for CUC with no outs here in the bottom of the second.
Yeah, the Cougars are in business here. Caleb Anderson coming up to the plate. Chance to at the very least move a runner to third with less than 2 outs. But probably looking to do a little more damage than that. 2 hard-hit balls to start the inning for CUC. Seeing the ball well at the plate.
Anderson takes that first pitch low for ball 1. Anderson on the season coming into the day, hitting .286, had 7 RBIs. He's got a man in scoring position right here in Michael Kasich. Finds himself in a 1-0 count right here. And he takes that pitch just off the outside edge for ball 2. Good eye on that one from Caleb Anderson.
Hitters count now. Caleb look for one pitch here. Try and give something a ride. Hit a gap, get a ball down in the outfield, and bring home that first run of the game.
Anderson takes that one inside.
I think it hit him. Or what are they calling here?
And it looks like they're going to call a balk on Netzler. So no pitch, I believe. And Kasich and Mahler advance to second and third base. So still a 2-0 count for Caleb Anderson, but now he has 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, big spot here. Hitters count second and third. Nobody out. A little nubber.
And there you go. Flare into left field. That'll score 1. Michael Kasich comes home to score, and that's an RBI for Caleb Anderson. Cougars lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the second. And, yeah, I mean, we talked about it with that base hit we saw out of Steven Russell with the Sabres. But, again, it's all about where you place those balls. And that was a perfectly placed hit right there.
Excellent, just excellent hitting from Caleb Anderson, going the other way with it. Seeing a pitch he liked, getting the job done, and now, you know, still nobody out, and the chance to, if you're the Cougars, hang a big number this inning.
Dom Owens at the plate for the Cougars, and takes a big swing right there for strike 1. Still no outs for the Cougars. No outs for the Cougars. Runners on the corners. Owens coming into today, hitting .333 on the season, only through a sample size of 3 at-bats. Dom Owens has not seen much action at the plate this season as a whole, and he finds himself in a 1-1 count here with a great opportunity to extend the Cougars' lead.
Yeah, even a ball on the ground in the infield they're not playing in should, in theory, bring the run home and give the Cougs a 2-0 lead.
You're going to see Netzler throw over, try and hold Caleb Anderson at first.
Middle infield appears in more double play depth. Obviously, very early in the game, the Sabres will forfeit the run if it means a chance to turn 2.
And that pitch going to be in there for a strike. Dom Owens now in a 1-2 count.
Got to focus on putting the ball in play here. Bring that run home. Extend this early lead for the Cougars.
Netzler winds up, 1-2 pitch, well outside. And there you go for the Cougars. Caleb Anderson picks up a stolen base right there, his very first attempt of the season and his very first successful stolen base of the season.
Well, it ended up being a very good pitch to run on as the catcher sprung out of position, and even though he was standing and had a chance at a cleaner throw, still a longer process to get there, and now they could really be in business. A base hit could score a pair.
Again, 2 runners in scoring position for Owens, tried to check up. Unable to hold his bat back enough, and that's going to be strike 3. Dom Owens takes a stroll back to the dugout, and that brings up Yashawn Boswell for the Cougars with a pair of runners in scoring position.
Batting 8, the shortstop, number 18, Yashawn Boswell.
Boswell, 7 RBIs on the season coming into today, and that number still holds true. Got a chance to add to that number right here.
Yeah, big spot. Still with under 2 outs. He'd like to see that runner from third at the very least find a way home here.
Pitch on its way, and that's going to hit him. Rode right up and in, right off the shoulder of Yashawn Boswell, and he'll head to first. And now bases loaded, 1 out for the Cougars. Up to the plate comes Elijah Hickman. And we're going to have a mound visit, first mound visit of the day for Marian University and for Hunter Netzler. Just trying to calm things down here as he finds himself in a jam in an inning that started out rough for him and has continued to go rough.
Yeah, you have a very good 9-hitter here in Eli Hickman. He doubled in game number 1, and then the top of the order waits on deck. So all of a sudden, if you're Marian, you know, you're really trying to avoid letting the Cougars put up the crooked frame here and take a big lead early. And if you're smelling blood in the water, and you're thinking this is our big opportunity, and you want to walk away from this inning with at least a couple more runs.
And you mentioned very good 9-hole hitter in Eli Hickman, one of the best hitters on this team. Leads the team in batting average coming in today with a .391 average. Led the team in on-base percentage as well. And in this situation, you can get a man just to get a single, even a walk. Any of that will score a run, and that's a great batter to have at the plate right here.
Absolutely. Someone who's going to put the ball in play, or at the very least find a way to get on base. A good eye there to get himself ahead in the count, 1-0.
1-0 count here on Eli Hickman. Bases loaded, 1 out. Netzler delivers. Hickman holds on that one. That's going to be ball 2.
I'd have to assume that he has the take sign here, given the hit batter, then the mound visit, and then 2 balls out of the zone.
Netzler slowly getting a bit more, losing control a bit as this inning's gone on. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. That's high and outside for ball 3. Eli Hickman, best hitters count you can get with the bases loaded.
Corners are playing slightly in for Marian. Looks like they'll try to cut the run off at home with the force if they can. For now, waiting to see if we see a strike thrown in this at-bat even.
Netzler delivers. And there you go. Nice, easy groove down the strike zone for Hunter Netzler.
He threw that pretty confidently that Hickman wouldn't be swinging, because that was, like you said, nice and easy right there.
Netzler trying to get his control back. Work towards that. That one goes outside, though. That's ball 4. Netzler walks in the run. Jake Mahler comes home to score. And the Cougars now lead 2-0. And it's not going to get any easier on the mound for Hunter Netzler as you have the top of the order coming up for the Cougars.
Left fielder, number 21, Julio Cajigas.
Cajigas up at the plate now for the Cougars. Flew out to right field his first time up. Netzler delivers. Cajigas, big swing right there. Fouls it back for strike 1.
Coming up aggressive despite the last two batters reaching via free pass. But, I mean, you're trying to break the game open right now. You got the top of the order up there. If you come up there and see a pitch you like, give it a hack, and he certainly did that.
Netzler delivers. Cougars flies that one into right field. Gus Walker settling under it. And he'll make the kit play. Caleb Anderson tagging from third. And he is in easily at home to score. Sack fly for Julio Cajigas scores one. Yashawn Boswell advances to third. And the Cougars extend their lead. It's now 3-0 CUC. So with 2 outs, up to the plate now for the Cougars, Tyler Dorsch, another batter who flew out his first time up. Dorsch has an opportunity here, 2 outs, runners down the corners for CUC as head coach Colin Connors gives Dorsch a briefing, sets him up for this at-bat. Over in the bullpen for Marian, got some action over there as they've started to warm up the arms for what looks like it will likely be a bullpen game for the visiting Sabers.
Yeah, again, not sure how many innings they expected or planned for out of the starter Netzler here. I would assume that the idea wasn't to have to go to the bullpen in the second, and that they would love to, at the very least, see him get out of this inning without any more damage done. But Cougs have the right man at the plate to do some run producing here. Runner on first, Hickman with a lot of speed. He'll be running on contact. If Dorsch is able to find a gap out in the outfield, it should be able to score a pair.
Dorsch finding himself in an 0-2 hole here quickly on the season. 12 RBIs for the 2-hitter. As Netzler delivers, that's going to be a ball. Hickman going into second, safe. Stolen base for Eli Hickman. Sets up 2 runners in scoring position for Tyler Dorsch.
And yeah, now if you're Dorsch, you're just trying to find anything. You got 2 strikes on you. Anything you can just, like we saw with Caleb Anderson earlier, even if you just poke it the other way, good piece of hitting out to the outfield, you're going to drive in 2, and you're going to make this a 5-run frame.
1-2 pitch on its way from Netzler. And Dorsch puts that one into the right field gap. Kleeman able to charge and make the play, and that'll end the inning, but the Cougars do some damage. 3-run score for CUC, and Marian's going to head to the top of the third, trailing for the first time today. We'll be back for that 3rd inning in just a moment. Welcome back, Cougar Nation. Here in the top of the third.
The third for the Sabers, right fielder number 15, Gus Walker.
Top of the 3rd inning here. Cougars lead 3-0 over the Sabers as Gus Walker, the 9-hitter for the Sabers, is up at the plate. Finds himself in an early 1-1 count. Sabers didn't trail at any time during that first game of the doubleheader. And they're going to look to try and cut that deficit here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, and if you're the Cougars, you have to feel good right now. Only 1 run in game 1. Obviously a 7-inning shortened game, but regardless, to get 3 in 1 inning. Feel like they got their feet under them a little bit now. Beautiful day here at the Thunderdome, and they have to be feeling pretty good out there. knowing that they've given themselves a 3-run lead. Now you have to protect it.
But Gus Walker draws the walk right there, and now you're going to have the Sabers with a man on first and no outs.
Dreaded leadoff walk. You never want to see that, especially not to the 9-hole hitter. Flip it over to the top of the lineup after issuing a free pass.
Number 11,
Tyler Blum coming up to the plate now for the Sabers. He's a high average hitter for Marian University. Lined out to right his last time up. And that one right there, high and inside, over the head of Tyler Blum for ball 1.
Yeah, some control issues from Scott here early on in this 3rd inning. And, you know, you would assume his mindset is, you know, affected pitching with the lead 2 now, and this is the first time he's been out there with the lead. He just needs to settle back in and focus on maintaining the lead that his offense gave him.
1-0 count here for Blum. Got a man on first, no outs. There's another throw over to first from Dylan Scott. Cougars pitching staff as a whole today making an effort to try and hold Marian University from making advantages on the base paths. And there's another pitch up and in. That one's going to go off the helmet of Tyler Blum. Dylan Scott slipping in control in that at bat, and now he's going to get a mound
Smith,
visit.
The pitching coach, coming out to have a word with his freshman, and I'm assuming it's going to be somewhere in the realm of, you know, just relax. We have a lead. Let's protect this lead. You know, he knows that he's capable, and just, you know, get that ball down, focus on throwing strikes, playing catch with the catcher, all those, you know, the classics
Yep.
for a reason. I'm sure that's a conversation there. Also, potentially, you know, what the infield defense wants to look like here with a chance to roll 2.
And Dylan Scott, one of your younger talents on this Cougars team, freshman, and he's seen quite a bit of action out on the mound this season.
Now batting the left fielder, number 16, Jacob Kleeman.
Coming up to the plate once again for the Sabres, Jacob Kleeman flew out to left field his first time up. Scott delivers inside, strike 1, and that's the pitch he's looking for coming out of a mound visit.
Exactly what I was going to say. A very good sign to see him come in there, fire a strike on the inside corner. That's not a pitch that Kleeman can do much with at all. Great spot. He goes right back there, just misses that time.
Kleeman, one of the few left-handed hitters in this starting lineup for Marian. Coming into today, Kleeman hitting .340 on the year. Kleeman going to ground that one over to first. Kasich can't field it cleanly, and everyone's going to be safe. Fielding error on the first baseman right there is going to load up the bases with no outs for the 3-hitter, Logan Radaman.
And just a frustrating start to the inning for the Cougars here. 2 hit batters and then an error to load the bases. And, you know, Marian, again, 2 hit batters and then a chopper to first. So essentially 3 free passes have loaded the bases.
36, Logan Radaman.
All of a sudden, Marian in striking distance to go get those 3 runs back that they just surrendered in the bottom half of last inning.
That first pitch to Radaman from Scott outside for ball 1.
With the middle of their order up, I would imagine that they like their chances to do so. We'll see how Scott responds here, dealing with some adversity.
Radaman, big swing right there, strike 1. Yeah, you got pretty much the most dangerous part of the order up for the Sabres. Radaman at the plate, Ryan Nelson on deck, Robbie Knorr in the hole. Coming up for Marian. Scott delivers. That's going to be
catcher interference, I believe.
That's going to be another free pass. given out by the Cougars. That one's going to cause a run. And the Cougars just mistake after mistake so far to kick off this third inning. And Marian University is now on the board.
Designated hitter, number 28, Ryan Nelson.
So still bases loaded, no outs as Nelson flies that one into right field. Dorsch settles under it. Blum's tagging from third, throw over to third, not in time. The run scores, Kleeman safe at third. Radiman holds up at first. And the Sabers have shortened that lead to just one run. It's now 3-2 ball game here in the top of the third.
Shortstop number 1, Robbie Knorr.
With runners at the corners for the Sabers, Robbie Knorr coming up to the plate.
Yeah, they get the sac fly, which is the first ball that they've hit out of the infield this inning. And they've managed, 2 runs without. They've managed 2 runs without a hit, which I'm sure is not too popular in the Cougars' dugout right now. Definitely frustrating to go take the lead and then give a couple runs at least back without making the Sabers do too much with the bats.
We've seen this with the Cougars throughout this season so far. Whenever there's any moment where they give up a lot of runs to a team, it's usually
squeeze attempt. They'll go to first.
It's going to be a tie ball game, like you mentioned. Squeeze works. Squeeze pulled off right there. And Marian University responds right away to the Cougars' 3-run inning with a 3-run inning of their own.
Catcher number 55, Albert Kiska.
That was a perfect bunt right there from Robbie Knorr. That was right along that first baseline. Perfect kind of bunt that you want for that squeeze.
Yeah, and immediately Owens, I should say, told his pitcher, go to first. And what do we have here? Another balk?
And Dylan Scott trying to understand from the umpire where the call is coming from on that one. He's still not happy with it, but he's going to have to reset to tackle the batter here, Albert Kiska. Pitch on its way for a ball. 1-0 count on Kiska here. Scott delivers, and that's going to be fouled back. Strike one. 1-1 count now. Runner on third. 2 outs here for the Sabers. Would love to take that lead right here. Scott delivers. That's going to be outside ball 2. We've already talked about the Sabers looking like they might have to go to a bullpen game if Netzler has another inning like the second inning. And the Cougars, Dylan Scott, with a long inning right here. It's looking like it might end up being a big bullpen game for the Cougars as well. That one fouled down the right field line. That one looks like it may make it to the chapel just off the base of the walls. It's now a 2-2 count on Albert Kiska. Scott delivers the 2-2 pitch. Kiska drives that one into the gap in left center field, and that one is going to get down. Hickman unable to make the play. They'll hold Kiska to a double, but the Sabers have taken the lead early here. Hickman unable to make the diving grab. And it's now 4-3 Marian University.
A lot of runs here in game 2 early, and that at least is a nice change of pace to see Marian get a hit to score a run.
And it's a complete change of pace from that first game between these two teams earlier, a pitcher's duel in that first matchup of the doubleheader, and now you head out here in this game. Top of the third, 4-3 ball game already. Dylan Scott just trying to get out of this inning and avoid any more damage that's already been done. Steven Russell now at the plate. And Russell grounds that one over to short. Boswell gloves it, sends it over to first. Kasich makes the grab for the out. And that'll end the inning, but Marian University gets the damage they need. They lead 4-3. Storming back from a Cougars 3-run inning. We'll head to the bottom of the third with the Cougars offense coming up, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, Cougar Nation, here to the Thunderdome in the bottom of the third, and both teams have brought the Thunder early on here. Marian University leading 4-3 over the Cougars after a rough defensive inning for CUC. But now their offense is coming up, going to try and take that lead back right here. Tyler Crater at the plate for the Cougars, a 3-hitter, trying to get that work done. 0-1 count on Crater. Hunter Netzler out for another inning of work on the mound for the Sabers, and that pitch delivered is a ball low. 1-1 count now on Crater. Crater had a big day a week and a half ago. Weekday doubleheader with the Dominican Stars as that one's flown out into the gap in right center field. Blum settles under it, dodging the sun to make the play. As that'll be out number one on the inning. Deep fly out for Tyler Crater.
First baseman number 10, Michael Kasich.
Michael Kasich coming up to the plate now for CUC. Had a ground ball single into left field last inning for the Cougars. Now here, no runners on and one out for Kasich. And he'll drive that one into left field, and that is going to fall just foul. Hit the fence just a foot or two left of the foul pole.
Oh, I don't know about any of that.
And
I don't know. I thought that hit right at the top, right at the pole. I think that's a double off the top of the wall, but obviously
Cougars unhappy about it.
I don't think they're going to be consulting me for my opinion, but Cougar coaching staff agrees.
Colin Connors out talking to the home plate umpire about it.
I mean, Coach Nelson's right down the line there at third base. He probably has the best angle of anybody. But we'll go with foul ball, and I could have misseen it, but I don't know.
It was a close call. I mean, I made the call that I thought looked when I saw a ball end up deep in the fence.
It just looks, you have the green netting around it, and there's not really any green netting in the foul territory, and it looked like it hit off the green. That was kind of where my head was at. That was very close to hitting the bottom of the pole and being a homer.
It's a very close call, and instead of a double or a home run, you now have Michael Kasich in an 0-2 count here. Trying to shrug off The unfortunate placement right there. Netzler delivers. Kasich, hot shot down the foul line, will go foul as well. Still an 0-2 count for the first baseman. Kasich, not a super high average hitter for the Cougars, but he is a power bat. 4 home runs on the year so far for Michael Kasich, 7 doubles, slugging at .463 as that pitch goes into the dirt for ball 1. Now we're in a 2-2 count now for Michael Kasich. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out for the first baseman. No men on. Netzler sets himself. He'll kick and deliver. Kasich drives that one down the foul line once again, and it falls foul. Michael Kasich making some really good contact in this at-bat, just unable to straighten it out enough to get it into play. Still a 2-2 count for Kasich. Netzler delivers, and Kasich goes down swinging. Long and adventurous at bat right there. Ends with out number 2 as Kasich hands his bat off to Jake Mahler. He'll use that same at bat for his appearance at the plate right here. Mahler singled to right field his first time up. And that's a pop fly, short center field.
A little confusion out there.
And that's going to drop.
Oh.
Tyler Blum lost it in the sun, and so did Robbie Knorr. Gus Walker, not exactly his realm of territory to make a play right there. And Marian University defensive mishap leads to a pop fly single for Jake Mahler.
Yeah, the center fielder has to make that play. And I know he's battling the sun out there, but he's the one running in on the ball with by far the best angle. I mean, that's a little far out there to expect one of your infielders to go back there and get that, running backwards.
There's a high bouncing grounder over to second from Anderson. Play is made, and that'll end the inning. Bit of an interesting inning right there from the Cougars, but Netzler works through it nicely. No runs allowed. The Cougars strand 1 man on first, and the Sabers still lead 4-1. 4-3 as we head here to the top of the 4th. Welcome back to the Thunderdome here at Concordia University, Chicago for the top of the fourth. And we have our first pitching change of the game for the Cougars. Number 12, Richie Gomez, the righty, coming in to replace Dylan Scott. Up to the plate to lead off this inning for the Sabers is Lucas Lemons. He'll take that first pitch low for ball one. Gomez delivers that one low once again for ball one. Gomez attacking hard right here, but unable to find the zone yet. And that one gets in there for strike one. 2-1 count now on Lemons.
And that Cougar bullpen's going to have 6 innings to work asked of them here in game 2. And right now the goal is clearly keep it at a 1-run game.
Gomez delivers.
Keep the Cougs within striking distance. And don't let this one get out of hand.
Absolutely. And with the 9-inning game, you have more time to come back, but there's also more time for Marian to pull away a bit if they manage to hold this lead. And Lucas Lemons able to draw a 7-pitch walk right there.
Yeah, patient at bat, dealing with a new pitcher.
And again, you got a man on first to kick off the inning for the Sabers as Gus Walker comes back up to the plate. Drew a walk his last time up. And he'll pull back on that and let it go for ball one.
That looked like a pretty good pitch. Obviously don't have the best vantage point from up here, but it's a little above the knees over the plate. There he goes.
Strike one. From what it's looked like, from what I've been able to see so far in this game, it's a bit of a tighter zone.
Definitely, yes. Definitely more than game one it would have been, and that doesn't surprise me at all. We talked about it was not a
game
tight
one
zone,
was
yes.
the outlier.
It was a very much a pitcher's zone in game number 1.
But yeah, 2-1 count here on Gus Walker. Two balls, 1 strike, no outs. Lucas Lemons over at first base. There's a throw over. Pickoff attempt no good from Gomez. Good communication from the Sabres dugout over here, calling out whenever there's a pickoff attempt. Done a very good job of that today. Gomez throws over again.
They're very dialed in that dugout over there.
I mean, so far today, the vibes have been very good over in the Marian University dugout. Led all of game 1, and then in this game, able to claw back a 3-0 deficit immediately.
Yes. They've trailed for the 1/2 inning, and that has been it this entire afternoon.
Remains a 2-2 count on Walker. And Walker sends that one into the gap in left center field. That's going to get down, and that's going to roll for a bit. Cajigas takes an awkward bounce. He's going to have to come in on it. That's going to be a double for Gus Walker. Lemons held up at third. And now you have runners at second and third with no outs for the Sabres. A great start to this inning for Marian.
Definitely some danger here immediately for Gomez, who's going to do his best now to work around some trouble. The freshman, second freshman we've seen on the bump for CUC today. I'm trying to see. Doesn't look like there's any bullpen activity currently, so Coach Connor trusting his freshman here to work himself out of a jam for the time being. And another hit-by pitch.
And that's going to send Blom to first. And for the second inning straight, Marian has had bases loaded, no outs. The Cougars pitching staff struggling mightily in these last 2 innings. As you hear from the Marian University dugout here, we love free bases, and that's really been the struggle for the Cougars. And the last 2 innings is walks, hit-by pitches, and errors.
Yes, and but the difference, with this inning, at least from that perspective, is Marian has set this up with that shot into the gap 2 batters ago, whereas last inning, obviously, it was all kind of free until they got the big hit. Now, they've been able to put themselves in a position. And Matt Smith talking to his infield, talking to his pitcher. They're going to, I'm assuming, look to roll two here like we talked about earlier in this same spot.
Coming up to the plate for the Sabres, Jacob Kleeman. Looking to do some damage here. Flew out to left his first time up. Reached first safely in that last inning with the error from Michael Kasich. Gomez delivers. That's going to be in on the outside edge of the zone for strike one.
Getting a bit chilly up here.
Windy day here in River Forest. Foul ball right there from Cleveland. But, yeah, windy day, and it's coming right in here.
Oh, yes,
on
absolutely.
The press box, just absolutely finding these gaps in the windows.
Oh, yes, yes. You know, this is I'm sure you've done colder games up here already this year. This is pleasant compared to what it could be. But, yeah, the April games in here are not.
There's a deep fly ball from Kleeman, right field. Dorsch settles under it, and it's going to be a chase to home bait. Dorsch's throw is in, and now we're going to have a rundown between second and third for Gus Walker. Yashawn Boswell, you're not escaping that chase down. Yashawn Boswell displays his defensive proficiency, chases down Gus Walker on the base paths.
I think that was 9154.
You're going to have a double play now for the Cougars. And Dom Owens trying to say that Lucas Lemons left early. Getting the Cougars trying maybe go for the rare triple play, but no dice. But 2 outs, double play, and only 1 run. You can't complain about that from a bases loaded, no out situation.
Yeah, if you're Marian, you can't be running yourself out of this opportunity, and that was a heads-up play to cut that off, and I think it was Kasich, yes, and throw to third base.
Yep.
And, forget the run at home. It looked like he had it. Great heads-up play. When all that's happening, it's happening fast. And I want to give a shout-out to our PA person, Jim Egan, for plugging the score on that for me as I put it in the computer of the pickle there. We went 9-3-5-4, 9-1-5-4, 9-1-5-4. So can get hectic fast here scoring these games, and you run into something like that that's not your conventional 5-3 ground out that you're looking for to keep your life easy. So thank you to Jim, and now we have a conversation between the umpires here. It looks like everything is all right.
Your batter now, Logan Radaman for the Sabres, sitting at a 1-1 count. Got a runner at first, 2 outs. Gomez delivers. Radaman flies that one into right field. Dorsch settles under it and makes the play to end the inning. And only 1 run allowed in an inning that could have been a lot worse for the Cougars. Some good defensive heads-up plays to minimize the damage. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th. Cougars trail by 2. It's Marian 5, Concordia 3. Welcome back, Cougar Nation, to the Thunderdome. It's a 5-3 game. Marian leading Concordia here in the bottom of the fourth. As up to the plate for the Cougars comes Dom Owens. And Owens, grounder down the first baseline, goes foul for strike one. Owens, his first time out, struck out swinging. Owens still very minimal amount appearances at the plate on this season. Going to get a couple here today, making the start as catcher. Pitch on the way. Inside, Owens holds strong. Let's go for ball one. 1-1 count now on the catcher. Netzler delivers. Owens swings and misses for strike two. One-two count. Pitch on its way. Owens lines that one into left center field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Dom Owens, good contact right there, and he's going to get on base, and the Cougars will have a man on to start off this inning. Nice line drive single right there from Dom Owens into left field. And that's going to bring Yashawn Boswell up to the plate for the Cougars. Boswell was hit by a pitch his last time up. Part of that big second inning for the Cougars. Looking to try and, at a minimum, advance Owens here. They'll let that pitch go on the outside edge for strike one. Netzler still out on the mound for Marian. So far, 3 1/3 innings pitched as Boswell watches that one go. Good off-speed pitch right there from Netzler for strike two. To pitch on its way. Boswell, hard grounder over to third. Radaman blocks it with his legs, gets it over to first. Boswell called out, just unable to beat it.
I mean, that was as close as it gets. I burned my one disagreement with the umpires on the foul ball that earlier, but that was a very close call. That one I'm less confident in than the other one, but
Fielder number 19, Eli Hickman.
Yeah, he was flying down the line, and it's a great recovery by the third baseman there to get up and make that play after losing the ball. Don't panic, and you have good speed running and nice play.
Now you mentioned great play over at third from Logan Radaman. Missed it with the glove and then blocked it with his legs to keep it in front of him.
Just no panic at all. That ball was hit hard, and you have someone who runs, like I said, who runs really well, and he just good composure. Another balk. This has got to be, we got to be coming close to a record here, because
I think that's our third balk call this game.
Yes.
We're in the bottom of the fourth. And they're going to both teams. Both teams.
Oh yeah, no,
getting called out on them. It's
exactly.
It's a balk party.
So that's when it gets a little bit. That's when it gets a little bit odd, because you have it when it's happening to one pitcher. You're like, okay, it might be a him thing, where he's doing something repeatedly a habit that he's having a hard time kicking. When you see it getting called on both, it is a little bit crazier.
Yeah, I mean, I've called a game with, for example, Dylan Scott been called for balk. I've called games for Dylan Scott this year, and no balks in any of those. So, balks, very much a judgment rule from the umpire, and
Absolutely.
some of them are much pickier on it than other umpires, and I think we got to pick a crew today.
Well, yes, because typically, especially at this level, you don't usually see the balk call when the pitcher still delivers home, the way that we've seen so many times today. There's been several balks where the pitcher went home. Usually, the balk comes with a pickoff attempt.
There's a grounder over to second base, and that gets through the gap. A run will score. Eli Hickman comes in the clutch right there. Base hit into right field. Dom Owens is home to score, and the Cougars have shrunk that gap down to 1 run. It's now 5-4.
It's really nice when you can rely on your 9-hole hitter to come through in situations like that.
And Eli Hickman, he's just a good hitter.
Yes,
that's what he does.
Absolutely. And now he flips the lineup over, representing the tying run with great speed on first base. It's a strategy of almost the double leadoff man.
It works great because now you have Julio Cajigas, who hasn't gotten on base yet today, but he's been making good contact so far. And you're at that top of the order. It's a constant threat when you're going up against the Cougars.
Absolutely.
Netzler delivers. That's low and outside again. Ball 2. A very favorable count to start off with here for Cajigas. Two-0 count. Runner on first. And that pitch is into the dirt. Hickman's going to go and take second. Great reactions from Hickman right there to see a pitch that he thought he could get to second on.
I think that goes wild, because he wasn't running until that ball was in the dirt and the catcher was fumbling around.
Just getting some clarification on the scoring there. We're going with a wild pitch. I did not have my eyes on Hickman, so I wasn't sure if he was off and running to begin with.
He was not, and it was really what was so great about it is a bit of a tough call because he immediately started running when he saw that pitch was going a bit off. It was great call from Hickman.
Read it dirty, and as soon as you see that ball is going to hit the dirt and you have the speed like Hickman, you take off. Now you scored position.
They got a 3-1 count here on Julio Cajigas. Very favorable hitters count. Netzler checks back to second. Checks back again. Keep an eye on Hickman and doing a little dance out there. Delivers, and Cajigas fouls that one off to the right back to make it a full count now. Going from a 3-0 count to a full count, Hunter Netzler not letting himself get rattled out of this at-bat. Three balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1 runner on. Netzler continuing to check on Hickman. They're going to go for the pickoff throw, and that's going to get into the outfield.
Center fielder was well prepared there to be there to back it up. I thought at first when that left his hand, I thought Hickman was going to take third, no problem, but heads-up play by the center fielder, Blum, to be where he needs to be.
And it's a good job from Blum to be chasing up and be playing in a little bit right there because that was the way that throw was going, that was going to the gap in the outfield too.
Yes, it was quite off, and there he goes.
That's going to be a grounder over to third. Cajigas running down to first. He'll be safe. Hickman easily safe at third. Was going for the hit and run right there for the Cougars, and it works out. Now you have 2 outs and a man on third for one of your most lethal hitters, Tyler Dorsch at the plate.
Right fielder number 23, Tyler Dorsch.
Cougars trying to tie up this game right here. Got a runner on third with 2 outs. Pitch on its way, and that's going to be in there for strike 1. Oh, 0-1 count on Dorsch. And that's going to be called another balk, and that's going to score a run. Netzler called for a balk twice in the same inning. Hickman scores. That's going to tie the game. And no surprise right here, you're going to have head coach Jordan Baitinger headed out to talk with the umpire.
No, I think he's wondering specifically what it is that he's continuing to do because I'm not watching as closely as the umpire, obviously. I'm not seeing anything egregious.
It's
from
nothing
these
egregious.
pitchers. Again, usually, the balk when he delivers home, it's not a call you see too often. Not at the rate we're seeing it today.
Absolutely not. Looking out at Netzler on that last one, I saw him. He flinched his left leg like an inch,
just
a little
enough.
bit. Dorsch flies out the center field, deep fly out from Dorsch, not able to get enough ride on it, going against the wind, but the Cougars tie it up, get some luck during that inning, get some clutch hitting, and we're all tied up now. It's 5-5 as we head to the top of the 5th.
The number 4 batter leads off the top of the 5th for the Sabers.
Welcome back to the Thunderdome. We're all tied up. It's 5-5 here in the top of the 5th. Cougars coming off of a 2-run bottom of the 4th. Richie Gomez headed out to the mound for his second inning of work. Gave up 1 run in the top of the 4th. Works himself into a favorable pitcher's count. 1-2 count to start off this at-bat. Going up against Ryan Nelson, the cleanup man for the Sabers. Designated hitter this game. That's going to be another pitch in there.
I think I thought that was strike 3. We got 2-2 now.
2-2 count now on Ryan Nelson. Richie Gomez painting the corner on that last pitch, and yeah, it looks like the Cougars are asking for some clarification on the pitch count as well.
He's waving one of the players in the dugout has the thing that umpires use to chart the count, and he's waving it around. That is strike 3. I'm fairly certain it was. I mean,
it's kind of awkward. The batters seem completely fine. Gomez in a groove out there, but it's going to be strike 3 anyways. Absolutely fools Nelson with the off-speed fastball combo right there. Nelson, big swing and a miss for strike 3. That's out number 1.
Shortstop number 1.
Ball don't lie.
Now you got Robbie Knorr coming up to the plate here. Had a sac bunt his last time up, and he'll take that first pitch in there for strike 1. Richie Gomez, tough start to his outing in that last inning. Loaded the bases with no outs. Since then, though, he has been a lot better at control, a lot better finding the zone, working his pitch combinations. He's looking solid out there on the mound. Has a 1-1 count here, now 1-2. That one fouled back.
Very comfortable out there.
That's a grounder over to third. Crater able to glove it and loses it on the transition. Would have been a tough play to make. Would have been a great play if they got it over to first, but a great job from Tyler Crater from keeping it in front of him anyways.
No, yeah, that'll go as a hit. That would have been a very impressive play, like you mentioned, if he was able to corral that and make the throw. Hard hit ball, nice stop, way to keep it in the infield. A 1-out hit for Knorr.
Albert Kiska coming up to the plate. Now 1 out, Knorr over at first for Kiska. Kiska doubled to the gap in left center his last time up at the plate. And it's going to be a 2-0 count to start off Kiska's at-bat right here. Gomez delivers, and that's in the zone for strike 1. 2-1 count now. Knorr over at first. No stolen base home season, and Kiska drives that one into center field. Hickman doubles back, settles under it, and makes the play for out number 2. Kiska making some very solid contact so far today. That one just not falling in the right spot. And now you're going to have Steven Russell coming up to the plate. Grounded out to short his last time up. Gomez delivers. That's a nice pitch in the zone for strike 1. Attacking Russell right away right here. A 1 count on Russell. That's in the dirt. Knorr is going to be going for second. He's in no contest. Advancing on the wild pitch. That's 1-1 count on Steven Russell. Pitch on its way. Russell fouls that one down the left baseline. 1-2 count on Russell now. Runner on second. 2 outs. All tied up 5-5 here in the top of the 5th. As Gomez delivers outside for ball 2.
I like that pitch, though. I like that spot. Try to get him to chase, though. We're really not seeing much chasing today. It's been, even with the tighter zone in game 2, it's been more called strikes, if anything. I haven't seen on either side too many guys go out of the zone to chase anything.
And there, another pitch like that just off the outside edge going for a ball. Now Russell has himself a full count right here. Gomez trying to set up his attack right here, set up the outside of the zone. That pitch is low. And that's called low for ball 4. Gomez, not a huge fan of the call, asking for clarification from the umpire on where the ball was.
Yeah, that looked pretty good up here. I mean, definitely, in my eyes, too close to take on 3-2, but obviously
Second baseman, number 2.
it worked out for Russell as he's standing on first base right now.
And props to Russell. Gut tells him that's a ball. He holds it for a ball and gets him on base.
Chance here still yet for Marian to retake the lead before we hit the halfway point of this game.
Lucas Lemons at the plate here for the Sabers. Going to be in a 1-1 count early here. Got runners on first and second for Lemons. Gomez delivers again. That's a strike down low in the zone. 1-2 count on Lemons. Trying to maybe get a high out rally here in the top of the 5th. Gomez delivers. Lemons, hard foul ball into the Cougar dugout. So Lemons fighting to stay alive right here with a 1-2 count as Gomez delivers, and Lemons over to short. Boswell unable to make the play. Throw going home. Knorr thought about going, got held up, and now with 2 outs, the bases are loaded for Marian.
And here comes Colin Connor, and I wonder if we're going to get a pitching change, and we are.
Richie Gomez's day on the mound is done as the bases are loaded with 2 outs. As out to the mound comes number 47 for the Cougars, David Gutierrez. So as Gutierrez gets himself warmed up, we here at CSN will take a short break. We'll be back momentarily for more Cougar baseball. And welcome back to the Thunderdome. David Gutierrez all warmed up and ready to go out on the mound. The southpaw looking to get out of a bases-loaded 2-out jam right here, going up against Gus Walker. Walker will take that first pitch low and outside for ball one. Last time up, Walker drilled a ball into the left center field for a deep double. He'd love a double right here.
And Coach Connor went with the lefty-lefty matchup here. As a strategy from the Cougars manager.
And Gutierrez working with more of a, not a complete sidearm slot, but more of a sidearm slot than we've seen any of the Cougar pitchers working with today.
Definitely tougher to pick up as a left-handed hitter.
As that one goes just off the outside edge of the plate for ball two. Sitting at a 2-1 count here. Gutierrez delivers high in the zone for strike two. And now Gus Walker finds himself in a 2-2 count where he's got to stay alive.
I'd go right back there if I was Gutierrez.
Gutierrez kicks and delivers. Foul ball from Gus Walker, barely managing to stay alive in this at-bat. And you mentioned it. There you go. Gutierrez went higher in the zone again. Trying to attack Gus Walker up there. There's delivery outside, ball three. We have a full count now here. Seventh pitch of the at-bat about to be on its way. Gus Walker looking to get on base and driving a run. Gutierrez looking to get out of it. Pitch on its way. That's going to be into center field. Hickman trying to track it. No good. Over the head of Hickman to the wall. One run scores. Another and another. Bases clearing double for Gus Walker. And Gus Walker continues to have himself a day. And with one swing of the bat, the Sabers lead by 3 once again.
Yeah, that's to state the obvious, a massive hit for Walker there. Driven Hickman's first step was in, first couple steps in before trying to run that thing down to the warning track. That could have been the difference, but that ball was hit pretty hard and over his head. So I don't know if he was getting to that regardless. Just a massive moment for Walker, and you can feel the momentum. He was absolutely jacked when he got to second base, as was his dugout.
Tyler Blum flies out to center field to the end of the inning, but Marian, a 2-out rally to do some damage. They're back on top, leading 8-3 over the Cougars, headed to the bottom of the fifth. We'll be back for that bottom of the fifth here on the Cougar Sports Network. And welcome back here to the Thunderdome in the bottom of the fifth. And Marian, they're on top 5-3 now after a late inning rally. Ended by a Gus Walker bases clearing double. Put them on top. Here in the bottom of the fifth, it's Tyler Crater leading off for the Cougars. Took that first pitch for a ball. And Netzler delivers. It's a high fly ball towards right field. Trying to see who's got it. And nearly dropped by Gus Walker. Caught it directly over his head.
First baseman number 10, Michael Kasich.
That sun wreaking havoc on the outfielders today. As Michael Kasich steps back up to the plate for the Cougars. Struck out swinging his last time up. Netzler delivers. Kasich, a big swing and a miss right there for strike one.
Yeah, and I think back a few innings ago, the Marian had the bullpen going in I believe, the second inning. Yeah,
yep.
when the Cougs struck for 3. All of a sudden, Netzler here now 1 down in the 5th. Doing a job for sure.
And there's a fly ball towards right field. That will drop down foul. So Kasich stays alive, but he's got 2 strikes now. 0-2 count on the first baseman.
And even if he only goes for this inning, say he's done after 5, the Marian will only have to go to their bullpen for 4 total innings across this doubleheader. Obviously a different story on the Concordia side of things, and so I don't know what the Marian bullpen looks like, but you would assume that they're going to have their go-to guys available and ready to go to try to get them to the finish line of this game. So absolutely huge for them to take the lead in the top half of this 5th inning and see what Netzler can't do here to get them 3 outs closer to a doubleheader sweep here on the road at the Thunderdome.
That pitch in the dirt for a ball down low on Kasich. 1-2 count now. Netzler delivering. And Kasich, hard grounder down the left baseline for a foul ball. Still remains a 1-2 count. Kasich, he's been making good contact against Netzler today. Just hasn't gotten anything to fall in his last couple at-bats. Everything going foul.
Yes, even if the one may not have been foul. But
and Kasich, that's a grounder up the middle. Fielded by Knorr over to first. And that's out number 2. 6-3 grounder right there. And with 2 outs, Jake Mahler will come up to the plate.
Second baseman number 5, Jake Mahler.
Mahler, pair of singles so far today. That first pitch will go for a ball. One 0 count on Mahler. Pitch on its way, well inside for ball 2. And you have to look at the Cougars trailing by 3. Out of the 2 games in the doubleheader, the game you would prefer to be trailing by more than 1 run would be the game where you have more innings to get back in it. So that is a positive for the Cougars right here.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I know they still have, they have 1 more out to give this inning, 4 more at-bats after this if they're trailing. So, by no means out of it. There's already been 13 runs in this game. And, like we said, we don't know exactly what that Marian bullpen entails, what that looks like when they get a new pitcher out there. So that is not a call that he should be getting on a 3-0 pitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and that's, we've seen that. When you want to talk about whatever zone he has, we've seen pitches there so far today that have been called balls plenty of times.
Exactly. And, he just threw 3 straight balls, too, typically,
It's a tough call for Jake Mahler, who's going to go from what likely should have been a walk into a full count.
Now 3-2.
Hunter Netzler trying to fight his way back into it and get out of this inning with a 1-2-3 bang. Netzler kicks and delivers. Mahler fouls it down and stays alive. Full count. Netzler staying dialed in on the mound. delivers the pitch. Mahler fouls that one down the third baseline once again, fighting to stay alive here, coming up on the 8th pitch of the at-bat. Netzler delivers. Mahler can't hold back. That's going to be strike 3. Hunter Netzler works his way through that. 1, 2, 3. We'll head to the top of the 6th. Marian leads Concordia 8-5 here in the Thunderdome. And welcome back to the top of the 6th inning here at the Thunderdome. Marian leads 3-0 over Concordia Chicago here in the top of the 6th. And Gutierrez delivers. That's a bunt pop foul over towards the Marian dugout. So that will go for strike 1. Strike 1 on Jacob Kleeman. Kleeman 0 for 2 today. Flew out, reached base on an error, and then had a sac fly. That scored a run in the 4th. Gutierrez delivers, and Kleeman fouls that one off towards the track once again. Strike 2. 0-2 count on Kleeman here. Facing the lefty pitcher, David Gutierrez. Lines up and delivers. That's going to be low and outside for ball 1. That's going to be in the zone. Strike 3.
Yeah, he tried to, lean into that one and make it look like it was a little more inside than it actually was, but the umpire wasn't fooled for a second. Nice inside corner. Great 2-strike pitch from Gutierrez there.
Good job of working the outside for the start of the at-bat and just brought it back in.
Showing him a little bit of everything, keeping him off balance.
Rademan grounds it over to third. Crater fields over to first. Kasich. Easy play over there for out number 2. And with 2 outs already here in the top of the 6th, Ryan Nelson coming up to the plate for the Sabers. Gutierrez delivering straight away, low inside, ball 1. Ball 2 outside. Nelson content to keep the bat on the shoulder for the start of this at-bat. Gutierrez delivers, and that's going to drop in the zone.
He's not happy about that one.
Gutierrez switched off.
I know while he's the third base coach, he is screaming at the umpire. I can hear him up here.
And Gutierrez, he went to the off speed on that one. That one dropped down to the dirt.
He took his little helmet off out there. He's awfully upset with that call.
Awfully upset over there. Taking a step back as well.
Yeah.
Calm himself down. That one is
not doing himself any favors if this gets to be, you know, if this is a close game late and there's calls, you know, that the human factor does come into play. That was pretty he's not happy about that one either. He's looking at his dugout, shaking his head. And now I'm very interested to see what happens on 3-2 here.
Gutierrez delivers. That's going to be fouled off towards the trees. So Nelson stays alive, and you go to that for the last couple innings. That's the way it's been called for both teams. And you don't have to like it.
No,
but the fact of the matter is, it's the way it's been called for both teams.
It's going both ways. Yeah, we talked about it for CUC. The zone does seem to be expanding here in Game 2 as the game's gone on.
Pitch on its way as a grounder over to short. Boswell charging, gloves it over to first. Kasich picks it up off the ground. That's gonna be out number 3. Gutierrez comes into the game, goes 1, 2, 3, stack him up, knock him down. Scoreless inning for the Sabers, and we're going to head to the bottom of the 6th. Cougars 3. Welcome back to the Thunderdome. Here in the bottom of the 6th, Cougars bringing it back up to the plate with Caleb Anderson leading off for CUC. Hunter Netzger headed out for his 6th inning of work here. And he'll pump that one in for strike 1 on Anderson. Oh, 1 count on the designated hitter. Anderson, hard grounder up the middle past Netzger for a base hit. His second base hit of the day puts a man on first with no outs for the Cougars. So with a man on and no outs, you have Dom Owens coming back up to the plate for CUC.
Catcher number 14, Dom Owens.
Owens singled to left his last time up at the plate. Netzger delivers. Owens lets that one go down low for ball 1. One-0 count on Owens. There's a pickoff throw attempt over to first, not even close. Caleb Anderson able to get back easily. And there's another hit for Dom Owens into right field. Caleb Anderson thought about going for 3. He'll double back and head back to second. And Dom Owens picks up another knock. That's base runners on first and second for the Cougars with no outs for Yashawn Boswell.
Yeah, some momentum here to start this inning. And, yeah, you know, they're running out of outs here. After this, you'll be in the final 3 frames of the game. And so, you know, you'd love to get Marian has some action already going in the bullpen.
Shortstop number 18, Yashawn Boswell.
Try to get to that bullpen with some pressure on them. Don't let somebody come in with a clean slate and not have to deal with base runners.
Boswell on the season, 7 RBIs, 3 extra base hits, all of them doubles. Batting .279 entering the day. So far today, he's been hit by a pitch and he's grounded out to third. So he sits in a 1-0 count here. Metzger checks back to second. Now he delivers. Boswell showing bunt. It's a high bouncer towards Metzger. They'll send it over to first. Boswell almost able to beat it out, just short of the throw, but it'll advance both runners with the sac bunt right there. Now the Cougars will have men on second and third with 1 out.
Center fielder number 19, Eli Hickman.
Eli Hickman up at the plate now for the Cougars.
Yeah, runner on third, less than 2 outs. You have to, at the very least, get that run in if you're Concordia here and chip into this lead. Even if you don't get it all back here, just start. But base hit should score 2 and bring them right back within a run. Very nice bunt.
And Eli Hickman,
Put them in this position.
That's the man you want at the plate in this situation. One of the best hitters and just players at getting on base for this Cougars team.
And he was none too pleased with that call. That did look a little bit low, but again, like we said, it's the zone is starting to expand, and goes and gets that one.
Flares that one into foul territory down the left field foul line for strike 2. Coming up on deck, you have Julio Cajigas and the rest of the Concordia Chicago top of the order after him. As Hickman stands in, Netzler winds up and delivers. Hickman flares that one into short center field, and that's going to drop for a base hit. Anderson will score. Hickman will hold at first. Owens holds at second. Blum runs it in himself, and perfectly placed flare right there from Eli Hickman. Picks up his second hit of the day.
Yeah, now a chance. You know, you got the tying run on base. Good speed aboard at first. Wouldn't be surprised to see Hickman try to take second. You got to keep yourself out of a potential double play and get yourself in the position to score on a base hit to the outfield. If the top of the Cougars order is able to deliver here, a chance to tie. Still just 1 away. There goes Hickman right away. Wasted no time.
And Julio Cajigas showed bunt, and Albert Kizka just saw nothing but the bunt, didn't hear the calls that Hickman was going for second. So strike on Cajigas, but Hickman advances to second with a stolen base. 0-1 count, pitch on its way. Cajigas grounds it down the left field line, and Cajigas, he's been making contact today. He's 0 for 2. Fly out, sac fly, ground out. Yet to have a hit, but he's not striking out. He's making contact.
No, putting the ball in play, that's, you know, you want your guys at the top of the order to do that, especially when they're fortunate enough to come up with guys on base. Bottom of the order definitely doing their job this inning of getting the Cougs in a position here to get back to even here.
And a fly ball to the outfield here, that would score a run. That would bring you within 1 run.
Yes, absolutely.
What you're looking for from here is Cajigas just to get a ball in play, but Cajigas, he's a good hitter, just hasn't gotten that hit down today, so.
New baseball.
Got action in the bullpen for the Sabers. Hunter Netzler in a bit of a jam right here. Checks, gets the call from Kizka, now delivers. And Cajigas, high fly ball into left field. Owens setting up at third base. Play is made by Kleeman. Owens headed home. Throw will not be in time. Owens is safe at home, and there's that sac fly. Cougars now up to 7 on the day, and they've drawn within 1.
Back within 1 in a big spot here for Dorsch.
Right fielder number 23, Tyler Dorsch.
Runner on second for Tyler Dorsch. 0 for 3 on the day. All flyouts for Dorsch. He's putting it in the outfield. Yet to get one to drop, though.
Just got to line one, find a gap. There is a lot of space out there for him to do so.
A 1 count on Dorsch. Netzler gets the call from Kiska. Oh, and they're going to throw it down to Hickman at second. And they got him right there. Eli Hickman caught out on the base paths, and the Cougars strand a man in scoring position. That'll do it on the bottom of the 6th. But the Cougars score 2. They've drawn within 1. It's Marian University 8, Concordia University 7 as we head to the top of the 7th. Welcome back to the Thunderdome in the top of the 7th. We got a thriller in the late innings right here. Marian University leads Concordia University, but only by 1. It's 8-7 here in the top of the 7th. Cougars got a new man out on the mound. It's number 36, Dax Meyer, going up against Robbie Knorr for his first batter of the game. Knorr, 1 for 2 on the day, had an infield single in his last at-bat. And he's going to flare that one into right field. Dorsch chases it down and fields it in front of him, so it'll be held to a single, but Robbie Knorr gets on base to lead the inning. So the man on and no outs, the Sabers will have the bottom of the order coming up with Andrew Albert Kiska next up for Marian.
Catcher number 55, Albert Kiska.
Kiska 1 for 3 on the day, had a double to left center field earlier as Meyer delivers. That'll go outside for ball 1. Checks over to first. Meyer kicks and delivers. And that's going to drop into the dirt for ball 2. Meyer having trouble finding the zone out the gate early here. (2-0) count on Kiska. Meyer delivers. And that's going to be in there for strike. 2-1 count on CUC. Runner on first, no outs for Marian. Meyer throws over to first. Nor back in plenty of time. There's going to be another throw over to first. We've seen this pattern a lot from the Cougars today. They do back-to-back throw-overs, and then they'll start pitching for a bit, and then they'll go back. But they'll always kick it off with back-to-back throw-overs.
Just keeping them honest. Now we got 3 in a row.
And that's a new game high for any pickoff attempts. 3 in a row from Dax Meyer right there.
Can we get 4?
If you're Robbie Knorr at this point, you're not going to be staying. You can't be going too far from the base right here. And he's not, and that one drilled into left field. Cajigas is going to have to chase it down. That's going to get to the wall. Knorr headed for third. He'll be held up there. And that's a double for Albert CUC, his second of the day.
Just probably, unfortunately, a case of, very concerned about the runner, obviously, and we're already getting a bullpen call here from Coach Connor.
It's a rough outing from Dax Meyer to kick off the inning, and now you're going to have runners on second and third, no outs. As in from the bullpen comes a Cougar pitching change right here.
Still trying to get a number here.
That Cougars front number placed nicely on the front. That's number 56, Dylan Ferraro. Back into the game for the Cougars. Had a nice scoreless outing in the first game against Marian University. Pitched 1 inning, gave up no runs, and he's back here against Marian as he gets himself warmed up. We'll take a short break. We'll be back for more baseball action on the Cougar Sports Network. Welcome back. Dylan Ferraro is all ready to go, and so is Steven Russell. Russell's got a man on second and third right here with no outs. Great opportunity for Marian to respond after the Cougars pull within 1 last inning. Dylan Ferraro finding himself in a jam. Got 3 outs to go, and you have no breathing room on second and third. That first pitch going to be on the outside edge. That outside edge that the pitchers are now realizing they can use. Ferraro uses that great right there for strike 1.
Goes right there on his first pitch. Sets the tone. Gets ahead in the at-bat. Yeah, not an ideal spot to come into. First baseman Kasich way in.
But that's something you'll take, a short fly ball.
Someone's got to catch it.
And there you go. Tyler Crater. Kind of lost track of it. No one really under it, and a good job to take a little dash and get under it for out number 1. No one advances. No one scores. And you'll take that. In any situation like this, you'd love a strikeout, but if you can get a short pop fly.
Anything that doesn't bring the run home from third with less than 2 outs, a lot of times you put the ball in play in that situation, you're in some trouble. Kasich is way in, pretty much even with the pitcher over at first base.
At the plate right now, Lucas Lemons.
And we've seen the squeeze play today, so I'm not necessarily surprised to see the Cougs anticipating it. Infield in all around.
And Lemons, he's flown out to right field, but it wasn't a strong fly out. If he makes contact, it's usually pulled from the right side. Ferraro delivers there. 2-1 count on Lemons. Runners at second and third, 1 out for Marian. 2-1 pitch on its way. Lemons thought he had that one. Great off speed right there from Ferraro, and
took
Lemons.
a little something off of it.
Lemons thought he got a meatball right there and missed it.
He had him way off balance, way out in front.
Now Lemons in a full count here, going up against Dylan Ferraro. You have that open base at first, so a walk does not kill you, but you'd love to get the out right here. Pitch on its way, in the dirt, ball 4. Now it's going to be bases loaded, 1 out with a Cougar killer today. Gus Walker coming up to the plate.
Yeah, we saw last time with the bases loaded, he cleared the bases, and that's still the difference in this game right now.
He'd love to do so again. Every time he's come up and they've needed a big hit, he's gotten a double. Double was in both of his last at-bats to that same spot in the left center gap. And he's going to flare that one to left field. Cajigas charging on it, unable to make the play, and it's going to get past him. 1 run's in. Another run is in. It'll be held to a single, but Marian has a 3-run lead once again with another RBI hit from Gus Walker. And that one a case of perfectly exactly where you want it. Not a hard hit fly ball, not deep, not short, but perfectly placed along the foul line that it was too tough for Cajigas to get there.
Indeed.
And you got runners on first and second, 1 out for Tyler Blum. They're at the top of the order now for the Sabers. Got that 3-run lead back right already. And Blum flies that one to right field. Dorsch charging on it, and that's going to drop. And the bases are going to be loaded once again. And Blum's hit right there just falling perfectly in the field.
Yeah, just a little blooper, a duck snort, Kansas City special, if you will. And, yeah, here we are again with the bases loaded and dealing now with the heart of the top of the order here.
That 2-3-4 stretch coming up. Kleeman at the plate, Radaman on deck. And Kleeman, short grounder towards the mound. Ferraro can't field it cleanly. Everyone's safe. And Marian's going to pick up another run right there. Infield single for Jacob Kleeman.
Yeah, we'll roll with infield hit there. It's a tough play to make. It's not necessarily an error, and that's stat sheet doesn't always tell the full story there.
Radaman at the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out. Takes that first pitch for a ball high. Radaman 0 for 2 on the day with a walk. Has himself a 2-0 count right here. 2-2 count on Radaman. Pitch on its way. Radaman fouls that one off to the right. Staying alive right here. He's got the bases loaded with 1 out going up against Dylan Ferraro. And this inning started out rough for the Cougars, and it's just continued to bleed for CUC. As Ferraro gets the call. And he'll step off the mound, reset himself here. And the field ump will call for a reset once again. Ferraro delivers low for ball 3. Radaman got himself a full count now.
Yeah, now you just do what you can to throw it over the plate, and if he hits it over the fence, he hits it over the fence. You don't want to be walking in runs here, already chasing 4 in the 7th.
And that pitch
That's
in there,
great
strike
spot.
3. That's that outside edge that's open with these umpires, and Radaman just keeping the bat on the shoulder for it.
That's a great pitch right where he needed it. You're not going to do much with that. You know you're going to get the call because it's been going that way this afternoon, and just absolute nails in the biggest of spots.
That flared towards right field, and that'll drop foul. Everyone will head back to their bases. 0-1 count now on the cleanup man, Ryan Nelson. Ryan Nelson looking to clean the bases right here and really break this game open. Marian sitting with a 4-run lead, 11-7 right now. That pitch inside for ball 1. One count on Nelson. Ferraro winds up and delivers. That'll be grounded over towards third. Crater charging over to first. Kasich takes it in easily for out number 3. And Marian, big 7th inning in response to the Cougars. 4 runs scored. 3 runs scored. They lead 11-7 now over the Cougars. We'll head to the bottom of the 7th, and the Cougars have got some work to do. Catch it all here on CSN. Welcome back to the Thunderdome for the bottom of the 7th. Marian leads the Cougars 11-7 here in the bottom of the 7th as Tyler Dorsch steps in and takes strike 1 right there looking. Hunter Netzler back out on the mound for some more innings of work for Marian. 0-1 pitch to Dorsch is on its way, and Dorsch hot shot over to third, gloved by Radaman over to first for the out. Dorsch remains hitless on the day. That'll be the first out of the inning. As up to the plate comes Tyler Crater.
Tyler Crater.
Crater 0 for 3 on the day. Snetzler winds up and delivers. Crater puts that one towards right field, and a great running play from Gus Walker, who continues to have himself a day. Diving forward on that one for the out. That'll be out number 2. Tyler Crater getting a run of bad luck right there.
Yeah, I mean, hard to hit. He smoked that right on the screws.
First baseman number
Not much you can do about that one.
Sometimes luck's just not on your side.
As Michael Kasich now up to the plate. 1 for 3 on the day, and that'll be fouled back. That was well out.
It was hard to tell there for a second because he certainly thought he had to play for a minute there.
I mean, when I read it, it looked like it was very much well out, and then you have the Marian fans sitting back here all screaming
Out.
for Kizka to get your head up, look for it, and Kizka's trying to chase it down, and that ball I'm pretty sure was over the bleachers.
Yes, no, that was out of the stadium and over near the football field.
Now Kasich fouls that one. This one Kizka might have a chance at, and
That's
that
in the
one's going to
bleachers.
end up
Or it's over our heads.
just
as well.
over the press box. All right.
That one had a little more on it than I thought. I thought that was more straight up.
That one kept riding. But 0-2 count to start off Kasich's at bat here with 2 straight foul balls. Kasich in the box with 2 outs here, no men on. Hunter Netzler continuing to stay on his groove here late in the game. Got 2 men working in the Marian bullpen right now. They don't need him yet, as that pitch is down low and out for ball 1. One-two pitch on its way. Netzler delivers, and that's going to be just off that outside edge for ball 2. 2-2 count on Michael Kasich. And that one's going to be popped up towards second base. Lemons settles under it to make the play. 1-2-3 inning for Hunter Netzler. And we'll head to the top of the 8th. Marian holds a strong lead, 11-7 over Concordia. And welcome back here to the top of the 8th. Marian leads Concordia 11-7 with 2 innings to go here in River Forest.
Number 5 batter leads off the
Up
top
to
of
the
the
plate
eighth.
for the Sabers, the man who led off the last inning, Robbie Knorr. And Knorr, hot shot foul to the third baseline. Knorr sitting on a 1-1 count here. Stone delivers, and we do have a pitching change for the Cougars, replacing Dylan Farrar on the mound. Kyle Stone out there going to work, number 44. That pitch on its way, and the high heat is swung on and missed by Robbie Knorr. Two-two count now for Knorr. Stone delivers, and that'll be just low for ball 3. Full count now for Robbie Knorr. Stone delivers, and that's a foul ball once again. Knorr staying alive here. In this situation for the Cougars, what you want is to go out and get a quick 1-2-3, because you need all the focus to be on the offensive end. You're trailing by 4. You have to get a lot of work done over there, and you can't allow it to get yourself to get distracted by defense, as there's a base hit sneaking through the shortstop third base gap. And Robbie Knorr, for the second inning running, leads off the inning with a single.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right with what you said. They should be, you're as eager as you can to get back in the dugout and start hitting again. You got 6 outs to play with, and you need 4 runs, and now, here you are already with a run around here. Runner on kind of snuck through.
And Albert Kiska, again a laser into left field, and this feels like deja vu. Albert Kiska with a base hit, and now it's runners on first and second, no outs for the Sabers.
Yeah, not your ideal start to the inning for if you're the Cougars, to say the least. At this point, every run that crosses the plate makes it seems so much more insurmountable when you're running out of outs, and you have up much here. You're going to be looking at needing more runs than you have outs to give. A little bunt attempt. And that was up at his face. I'm impressed he got the bat up there. That was good. That was protection there, because that one was coming. That was coming at his face there, and just kind of used the bat as a shield.
That is a strike for Stephen Russell. Unfortunately for Stephen Russell.
Yes.
But at least he's okay.
And Kasich playing way up in front of the pitcher, definitely expecting that bunt that was just shown by Russell, and I'm sure he'll go back to it here with one more still to spare, not even hiding it, showing it immediately. Kasich is right there, and now he pulls back.
That'll be a high ball. Russell 1 for 3 on the day, singled his first time up, then a ground out, then a walk, and then a fly out. Looking to do something here with runners on first and second, no outs. Stone delivers, and that's a swung on and foul back by Russell. That one right in on the hands. Stone very clearly showing his hand here against Stephen Russell, which is to pitch him up and in.
Definitely makes it tough to bunt. Now the bunt's probably out of the equation here with 2 strikes.
Stone checks back to second and delivers, and that's going to be popped foul over the backstop once again. Now, when clearing the bleachers, it sounded like, didn't hear any clangs.
No.
Russell sitting in with a 1-2 count. Pitch on its way. Called off the outside edge.
Just outside, but there's been points today that that's been a strike.
The outside edge is an unknown area.
Yeah, that one was probably a little bit off the plate, but there it is.
And Stone adjusts maybe an inch more in, and he gets the call right there. Strike 3 on Stephen Russell for out number 1.
Now we'll see if he can't work through the 8 and 9 hitters here and keep the Sabres off the board this inning. What are they looking at here? Someone with his wrist.
It looks like the pitch, either the call sheet or I'm not sure exactly what the Cougars use to get the call from the catcher to the pitcher, but the wristband containing that. It's not the wristband. It looks to be some jewelry that may be getting.
We have some very particular umpires today, it seems as though.
because it looks like Stone had some jewelry underneath his sleeves. And they're still inspecting the wrist.
And here comes Coach Connor. And Marian's coach yells, "We don't care," from third base, you know. Like, he's thinking, I got 2 runners on here in the 8th inning. Why I don't want this game stopping. I want my boys to have a chance to,
Second baseman number 2, Lucas Lemons.
swing here. I don't need a delay for wrist jewelry.
And Stone's
I can't
first
say that I
pitch
blame
to
him.
Lucas Lemons. I mean, it's a very nitpicky thing. We've seen this is their particular umpires with the balk rulings, things like that.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, It's been an interesting day at the Thunderdome.
They will play you to the rules as Lucas Lemons fouls that one off, has himself in a 1-1 count here. Stone gets the call in. Now wind up and deliver. Throw down to first to Kiska. No good. I mean, he threw it right to first, but Kiska obviously got in front of it as Kiska was on first by the time the ball got there. Good play from Kasich.
Yeah, I think
to
he
jump around.
Saved Kiska from potentially getting hit in the face. By
Kiska seemed
jumping in
very
front of him.
content
Yeah.
with the ball coming straight at him.
He's worried about getting back to the bag.
Now there's another pickoff. Kiska just able to get back in time.
That's a pretty good move from Stone there.
One count on Lemons here. Stone checks back to second, now delivers. Lemons bops that one foul towards the Cougar dugout once again. Solid run of foul balls here from Marian. Stone delivers inside for ball 2.
I believe that's full. Yes.
Full count on Lucas Lemons. Lost track of the pitches there for a bit.
Been a lot going on.
That's going to be a grounder over towards third. Crater fields over to second, and it's dropped.
They still got him.
Mishaps on both ends over at second. The potential for a double play dropped by Jake Mahler. Still get the out because Albert Kiska went down for the slide and didn't get to the base and assumed it would be caught and stopped going for the base. So that when Jake Mahler picks the ball back up, Kiska has still not touched the base. And it's still a force out.
A nice break for the Cougars there, but certainly felt like that could have been 2 off of the bat.
15, Gus Walker.
Luckily, they get 1, and Stone's an out away from getting out of this inning.
Throw down to third. Not in time. Russell advances over to second. Runners now at second and third with 2 outs for Gus Walker. Walker 3 for 3. Walked his first time up, has a pair of doubles and a single. And this is a situation that Gus Walker has loved so far today. High leverage, high RBI opportunities. Got runners on second and third. Pitch on its way. Walker watches that one go on the outside edge for strike 1. 1-2 count on Walker. One pitch from Stone on its way. High for ball 2. One pitch. Walker drives that one towards left field, and Cahiga settles under it this time. Gus Walker doesn't get it to fall, and that'll end the inning. No run score for Sabers. Good work from Kyle Stone to work himself out of 2 runners on, no outs jam. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. Cougars still trail by 4 here in the Thunderdome. Welcome back here to the Thunderdome in the bottom of the 8th. Jake Mahler up at the plate for the Cougars, who trail by 4. And he'll hammer that one foul past the shot put ring. Discus ring, actually, it looks like. That's the discus ring. Past the discus ring, almost to the fence, lining the street for foul strike number 1. Mahler, pair of singles and a strikeout, 2 for 3 today. Hunter Netzler still out on the mound, and that's an unfortunate one from Mahler. Hot shot, great line drive straight at Lucas Lemons for out number 1.
Designated hitter number 25, Caleb Anderson.
Caleb Anderson back up to the plate here for the Cougars. Hunter Netzler has broken that 100 pitch mark here in the 8th inning, and that pitch will go outside for ball 1. One 0 count on Anderson, and that'll be fouled to the left. And, you know, at this rate, you have to imagine Marian using at most 3 pitchers. I would imagine they bring in someone to finish off this game for Netzler in the next inning if he gets through it, but you're going to have minimal pitchers used for Marian, and they don't play again until this next Wednesday, a doubleheader against St. Norbert. So you're going to have your guys extremely well rested for that matchup with St. Norbert's.
Their starters have put them in a good position today, and, you know, Netzler has given up some runs, but his willingness to continue to go out there and take the ball, and now you said over 100 pitches, it's impressive.
Two count on Caleb Anderson here. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Anderson 2 for 3 on the day. Netzler kicks and delivers, and Anderson grounds that one towards short. Nor charges over to first. Great stretch from the new first baseman, James Bornick, who's been brought in as a substitution for Steven Russell. Bornick defensively on amazing in that first game, and now they're bringing out their best defensive lineup to close this one out for Marian. Two outs here for Dom Owens. Finds himself in a 1-2 count. 0-1 count. No men on for Owens, as that pitch will go high for ball 1. Cougars down to their last 4 outs. Coming up for Marian University in their 9th inning is the top of the order. 1, 2, 3, Tyler Blum, Jacob Clayman, Logan Radaman. A great setup of 3 for Marian University. So for the Cougars, at this point, it's damage and minimization once you get to that inning. In this inning, maybe you can pull off a 2-out run, but the momentum within the stadium right now is entirely in Marian's favor. Netzler's pitch on its way, drops in there for strike 2. 2-2 count on Dom Owens. Owens has a pair of hits today. Singled his last 2 times up. His pitch is on its way, and that's going to hit Owens right on the shin protector. So Owens will take a base over at first, and with 2 outs, the Cougars get a man on with Yashawn Boswell coming up to the plate. And there it is. That's likely going to do it for Hunter Netzler. 8 2/3 pitched for 7 2/3 pitched for Netzler. Great outing from Hunter Netzler here. As we wait to see, and it'll be number 31. Michael Martinez coming into the game for Marian. And while Ramirez gets warmed up, we'll take a break here at Cougar Sports Network. We'll be back momentarily for more baseball action. And we return here to the Thunderdome as Yashawn Boswell steps up to the plate. 2 outs and a man on for the Cougars.
Yeah, there is the shortstop, number 18, Yashawn Boswell.
As Marian has gone to their bullpen for the first time in either game today, Michael Martinez taking the mound now for the Sabers, and that first pitch is pumped in for a strike. Martinez coming in today had a 3.86 ERA through 9 innings of work. He's allowed 4 runs on the season. Only 4 strikeouts. He's not a strikeout pitcher. He'll pitch to contact. 1-1 count here on Yashawn Boswell. Martinez delivers. Boswell, big swing and a miss right there. For strike 2. He finds himself in a 1-2 count here. Martinez kicks, delivers. High for ball 2. Owens content over at first base. Martinez delivers. In, and that's going to clock Boswell right off the right shoulder. Boswell had to try and get out of the way of that one. That was up and in. 2 consecutive batters hit for the Cougars.
Hit a couple times today.
And from both teams, we've seen a lot of up and in pitches hit batters. Blum getting hit on the helmet earlier today on that end, but Boswell nearly getting hit on the helmet himself. And now the Cougars will get 2 runners on with Eli Hickman up to the plate here late with 2 outs, courtesy of hit batters. And Martinez looked pretty good so far in that at-bat. It's not really what you want to see out of a pitcher right out of the bullpen as a hit batter, though.
No, not the ideal start. You know, Cougars still just chasing 4, so anything they can get here could put them in position in the 9th.
And that one outside on Hickman to set up a 1-0 count. Martinez checks back to second now, delivers, and that's in there. Nice in there for a strike. 1-1 count now on Eli Hickman. Hickman 2 for 2 on the day with a walk and a pair of singles, and the Cougars would love a base hit right here from Hickman. As Martinez delivers, Hickman lets that one go down low for ball 2. 2-1 count now on the center fielder. Hickman been one of the most productive Cougars all day long. Martinez delivers. Inside on the edge for a strike, and now it's a 1-2 count on 2-2 count here on Eli Hickman. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 men on here in the bottom of the 8th. Pitch on its way, outside, ball 3. Eli Hickman in a high leverage situation here with a full count and 2 men on. Cougars trailing by 4. Hickman readies himself. Martinez delivers. And that's flied up towards left field. Clemens trying to settle himself under it, and he makes the play to end the inning. Cougars give the Sabers a scare to close out the inning, but no runs scored, so we'll head to the top of the 9th. Marian leads Concordia University Chicago by 4. Both teams starting off with the top of the order in this 9th inning. Welcome back to the Thunderdome here for the top of the 9th. Marian leads the Cougars 11-4. And the Cougars looking to hold that 4-run gap at the start of this inning have brought in Elliot Higgins. 1-0 count on Blum here. Now a 2-0 count with that one in the dirt. Higgins, 2-0 pitch on its way, and that's going to be just high for ball 3. Tyler Blum working a great at-bat to kick off this inning. That's going to be pumped in for strike 1. Blum holding all the way right there. Pitch on its way, in there, strike 2. Blum still holding, and now he finds himself in a full count going up against Elliott Higgins right here. Pitch on its way. Blum lines that one towards right field. Dorsch able to charge and make the play. And that'll be out number 1. And with 1 out, up to the plate comes Jacob Clement for Marian University. Clement 1 for 4 today, hit a single his last time up that scored a run. Pitch on its way, and that's in there, strike 1. And we talked about it a bit this last inning, but the goal for the Cougars here is to get through this inning as fast as possible. They have 3 outs to go. They trail by 4, and they don't want to risk Marian getting any more momentum or extending their lead whatsoever.
No, you want to get right back in the dugout, pick up the bats, and get to work. And, yeah, again, anything that makes it more of an insurmountable lead, it's certainly not ideal.
Pitch on its way, foul down. It's now a 3-1 count on Jacob Clement. Three balls, 1 strike, 1 out for Clement. And he lines that one towards right field, and that one's going to fall just foul for strike 2. Full count now for Clement. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, no men on. And Higgins delivers. And that's going to be just off the outside edge. So it's not 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Clement. Now it's full count. Full count for Jake Clement. Pitch on the way, and that's going to be low for ball 4. Clement will head to first base with just 1 out. And with 1 out, Logan Radaman will have a man on. Radaman yet to get a hit today. Walked his first time up. Has gotten out every other time today. Higgins delivers. And a bit of off-speed movement right there. Falls into the dirt for ball 1 on Radaman. Higgins checks over to first. And will step off and reset himself. Kicks and delivers. In there, strike 1. 1-1 count now on Logan Radaman. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 man on. Pickoff throw over to first, and they've caught Clement out on the base paths. Clement trying to get back to first, slips. Cougars got to execute the rundown here. It's going to go to Boswell, and Jacob Clement in safely. Elliott Higgins makes a costly mistake and overthrows Yashawn Boswell. And the Cougars, just when you cannot have a mistake like that, a great play to catch out Clement, and Clement comes out on top. Still a 1-1 count on Radaman, but now he has a man in scoring position with just 1 out. Higgins delivers in there for strike 2. 1-2 count. On its way. That's grounded over towards first. Kasich loves it. Steps on the bag himself. Good play. Backhand snag from Michael Kasich right there to keep it in front of him. And that'll be out number 2. Clayman advances to third base. And with 2 outs and a runner on third, we'll see Ryan Nelson come back up to the plate.
Designated hitter number 28, Ryan Nelson.
Nelson 0 for 4 on the day. Flew out, had a sac fly, and has grounded out his last 2 times up at the plate. Pitch on its way, swing and a miss. Strike 1 right there for Ryan Nelson. Higgins delivers. Low, ball 1. Now you had the Marian University top of the order for this one. 1, 2, 3. Clayman got on. You got to see the cleanup man, Ryan Nelson. It is the exact same case for the Cougars. You have 1, 2, 3. Julio Cajigas, Tyler Dorsch, Tyler Crater up. As that ball is sent to center field, Hickman settles under it, makes the play. And that'll end the inning. Clayman got the way to third and got stranded there. Marian doesn't score in the 9th.
In the inning, no runs, no hits.
We'll head to the bottom of the 9th. The Cougars, 3 outs to try and get back in this game.
11.
Welcome back to the Thunderdome. It's the bottom of the 9th. Cougars trailing by 4. Just 3 outs to go for CUC to try and get back in this game. They've got Julio Cajigas leading it off at the top of the order. That first pitch in there for a strike. 0-1 count on Cajigas. Dorsch on deck. Crater in the hole. And Michael Kasich down the line represents the tying run. 1-1 count now for Cajigas. Pitch on its way. Cajigas sends that one to center field. Chasing back is Blum, and he makes the play for out number 1. And Cajigas had a rough day, had a rough time getting on base today, and that continues right there. And that's a tough spot when the Cougars' priority for CUC is getting batters on base right here. Tyler Dorsch steps up to plate. He's struggled today as well. 0 for 4 so far. Hasn't struck out, but he's flown out 3 times, grounded out once. He finds himself in an 0-1 count here. Now 1-1. The new man on the mound for this inning for Marian was Tanner Alstein. Winds up and delivers. That pitch just outside for ball 2. Pitch on its way, outside again, ball 3. Tyler Dorsch finds himself in a favorable hitter's count right here. And Cougars, you're down by 3. You need to get men on base so you can get those 4 runs. And that pitch in on the low inside corner for strike 2. Dorsch in a full count. Would love a walk right here. Pitch on the way from Alstein. Dorsch pops that one up towards second base. Lemons settles under it. Gets called off by Walker, who makes the play. That's out number 2. And as the Cougars are down to one more out, up to the plate steps Tyler Crater, a third of that trio of the top 3 for the Cougars, who all remained hitless today. First pitch out to Crater outside right there. It's a very uncharacteristic game from Cajigas, Dorsch, and Crater. All 3 of them great hitters. Crater in an early 2-0 count here, and he'll foul that one back for strike 1. Pitch on its way, and Crater pops that one into left field. Settling under it is Clayman, and that'll do it. Marian University takes game 2, 11-7, and it's a road sweep of the doubleheader for the visiting Sabers. Concordia drops both games today, and after not beating the Cougars for 9 years, Marian University breaks the streak with the doubleheader sweep here in River Forest. Game 1, 2-1. Game 2, 11-7. Your standout performers from Marian. Your standout performers from this game for Marian. Can't not mention Gus Walker. Huge day from the right fielder. 3 for 4, 5 RBIs, 2 doubles, a single. Right when they needed clutch hitters, Gus Walker came up huge for Marian. Big day also for Jacob Kleeman at the plate. 1 for 4, but he picked up a pair of RBIs when he was up there. And then Albert Kiska, pair of doubles, 3 for 5 at the plate for Marian. On the mound in this one, Hunter Netzler, 7 2/3, gave up 7 earned runs, but he did what he needed to stay ahead of the Cougars, and that durability and longevity out of a pitcher, great for Marian, who did not really have to tap into their bullpen much at all today. But that does it for Cougars baseball here today. They fall in both games of the doubleheader, a 2-1 loss to Marian, and now an 11-7 loss to Marian in game 2. Moving on from here, Marian takes on St. Norbert's up at St. Norbert's this upcoming Wednesday. And the Cougars, they're back in action tomorrow. They travel to Benedictine University for another doubleheader, looking to bounce back and break what has now become a 4-game losing streak for CUC. But that's not all the Concordia Chicago action today, and that's not all, and it's not done yet. Concordia Chicago men's volleyball still in action. You want to check that out, see how that game finishes. Currently it is tied 1-1 and tied in the third set as well. Head over to that stream on CUC Sports. But that'll do it from out here at the Thunderdome on Cougar Baseball. I'm Jonathan Shear at the Cougar Sports Network. Joining me today on air was Justin Bjorseth.
It was a pleasure. I appreciate you having me here for game 2.
It was a pleasure having you, Justin. Guest on air today, Justin Bjorseth. And working on the directing end today was Abby Kulig and Lindley Southern. And that'll do it from Concordia Chicago Baseball. Thanks for joining us, and make sure to join us next time for more CUC Baseball. As always, roll Cougs.